You're tuned in to the Binge It Babe podcast with your host, me, Candace Estelle. All right, babes, let's get binging. Hey, hi, hello, and how are you, babes? It's the penultimate day of spooky season. It's October 30th. It's a Wednesday. It is cold outside. I've got my sweater. I've got my tea. I've got you. And we're going to be talking about the adorable Halloween series, Hotel Transylvania, which in its current state has 4 movies, maybe as like a show or something else that's spun off of it. I wouldn't know because I am an adult and I have no human children. However, I do still like these movies. And if you're thinking they're incredibly infantile, what are you doing watching those? You didn't grow up watching those because you're too old for that to have come out at a time that would have been relevant for you. The answer is mind your own business. Don't yak my yum. I find them so freaking cute. Okay? I like Adam Sandler. I like Andy Samberg even more. And I like Selena Gomez. So for me, this was a no-brainer to see what they were about. I also love cute shit. Look at my cat. She's not in the camera, but I'm telling you right now, bitch is cute. I love how cute these movies are. Okay? There's 4 of them. The third one is not as good, but the fourth one is better. And you're thinking, that's weird. The answer is, yeah, it is weird. But also, everyone that was like main voicing things left. And so you'd think, that movie's going to be really bad. It's not. It's not. The third one is worse, for sure. My least favorite. If I'm going in order, it's 1, 4, 2, 3, I think. You know, if I gotta rank them. So, Hotel Transylvania is an animated cartoon. It's probably DreamWorks. I don't know, DreamWorks or Sony. It's definitely not Disney. And it is about Count Dracula and his daughter Mavis. Count Dracula is played by Adam Sandler. Mavis is played by Selena Gomez. And they run Hotel Transylvania, I'm assuming in Transylvania, which is Romania. And they are getting ready for Mavis's 118th birthday, because that's when she becomes an adult, which is silly. And it sounds logical. If you think about it at all, no logic to it. So is what it is, whatever, I'm ignoring it. It's just like they were like, well, you're an adult when you're 18. Okay, add 100 to it because she's a vampire. Got it. What? Whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Count Dracula's wife is dead. She's been muckducked by those pesky humans back in the pitchforky torch times. And so he is very unforgiving towards humans. Doesn't want them around. The hotel is like, it's hidden and haunted forest and spooky areas that like no one ever goes to. If you're wondering what my other arm is doing, Domino is under the desk and he is getting a little head pat. Aren't you, buddy? Baby, you can't come up here. You're too big. Okay, come on. You don't? Okay. He's going to sit on my foot right now and be adorable. I love you. Can you see him at all? Oh, I want to show you off. Come here. I'm going to hold you like a baby and you're going to like it. Don't. Hi. Hi, everybody. Oh, I know. You don't love being held like this. But now everyone sees you and they say, oh my goodness, what a handsome little boy. Oh, so handsome. Oh, so sweet. Oh, your eye looks red. You look a little bit haunted. That's great. Very on brand. Thank you, Domino. Go away. All right. Told you there was a dog under my desk. I think that might be the first time Domino's ever joined us for an episode. Probably because it's, I said no. No. Domino, no. The human dog bed again. It's not for you. It's a human dog bed. Dog bed part is only the shape. The human part is what you must listen to, sir. Go to your bed. The attitude he's been giving me, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. The level of side eye that I have received, okay? You can see on the TikToks when I opened it and I'm like super excited and he claimed it immediately and I was like, no, it's not for you. And I've been strict about it. been like a week now. And he tries every day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes multiple times a day. Sometimes he tricks me and he'll walk by and I'll pet him and then he'll go, "Oh, would you like petting me? What if I were to sit in your little dog bed?" And I'm like, "No, it's for me and me alone." Anyway, the cats get in, but they don't count because they're little. Uh, so Dracula, all his friends call him Drac, which I just think is so cute, runs Hotel Transylvania with Mavis, and he's got his best friends, and they all come and do like their vacations at Hotel Transylvania, always because it's a safe place for monsters. And his friends are what I can only assume is sentient lime jello from a haunted Bunt pan, is what I think is happening there. Blobby doesn't talk. And then we've got a werewolf who basically just looks like a dog wearing a button down and a tie, which is very funny. And an invisible man. So we only know he's there because he's wearing glasses. We've got a mummy. And then we've got Frankenstein's monster and Frankenstein's monster's bride, or the bride of Frankenstein's monster. And then I think that's everybody in the core group. So those are played by like Kevin James and Fran Drescher and Steve Buscemi and David Spade. Blobby doesn't talk. Also, the CeeLo Green, who I don't think we're on cool terms with anymore. He's the mummy. Um. Anyway, so I love that even in an animated flick, Adam Sandler's still like, and I'm bringing all my pals. I love it. It's perfect. Also, I love Fran Drescher. That woman's amazing, and like that's basically it. That's all I have to say about her. She's great. Selena Gomez plays Mavis, and then you're like, didn't you say that Andy Samberg is in this movie? He is. Andy Samberg is Johnny, who is this adorable human who's basically just like backpacking and adventuring and experiencing other people's cultures. And he's a little bit of a bro, but in a cute bro way, like in the best way a bro can be a bro. Like, oh, did you see that little bunny? Bro, like that kind of bro. He's not like oh, she drank a lot, so kind of bro. Like he's not a that's the implication, bro. He's a wholesome bro. Like Kronk also hosts some bro. And if you're like, who is Kronk? Watch The Emperor's New Groove. Get your life together. Himbos. Bros. It's what I like. I also like people who are spicy. So does that match? No. My brain is weird. Anyway, Andy Samberg plays Johnny. And basically, he's like trekking around and then gets lost or gets off path or something and ends up at Hotel Transylvania. And Dracula sees him, but the problem is that Mavis has also like seen him kind of, or he sees Mavis and immediately he zings, which is what this universe calls like true love or your soulmate or like falling in love. And allegedly, you only zing once in a lifetime. And so Dracula's trying to get rid of him because he's like a human. Ah! And Johnny's just like, what? What's going on? And he kind of realizes it's monsters, but it's a little later in the movie, but it's a kid's movie, so it's not very late. It's like 15 minutes. And Dracula is lying, and he's like, this is my cousin, or something like that. And he's here to help me plan Mavis's birthday, which no one was excited about because Dracula's super old fashioned. And so he's doing everything real traditional, and everyone's like, oh, it's boring. We've all been alive forever. Let's do something new, And so Johnny helps plan things, and Johnny's a riot. Johnny's a party, right? He sings with Mavis. Mavis sings with him. She does think that he's her cousin, or maybe no, because that would be creepy. Ugh. A friend, a family friend. I think she thinks he's a vampire, though. No, she thinks he's a Frankenstein. That's right. They pretend that he's a Frankenstein for a little bit, and then with actual Frankenstein's monster, he's like, yeah, I think we're related because we both have we share an arm with a cousin or something like that. Something silly. Anyway, he's helping plan the party. Mavis and him are falling in love. And then, it comes out that he's a human. And at the same time that it comes out that he's a human, it also comes out that Mavis is zinged with him, which sounds way dirtier than it is. It's not. It's not. Uh, it's not. It's a kids movie. Okay, get it together. It's but Mavis also wants to go into the human world and to experience humans. And keep in mind that Drac lost his wife to pitchfork wielding. So he sets up this whole elaborate plan with little zombies in it. And they're pretending to be humans and like carrying pitchforks and like being scary and having garlic and stuff, which is very funny. And so she's like, "Oh, I guess the humans haven't changed at all, even though it's been like 100 years." And Dracula's right, like, "That's right. So you have to stay here." And she's like, "Yeah, I guess I have to stay here for my whole life and never experience anything or see the world or blah 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 blah." And it's sad. And Johnny brings life into her, like light into her life. And then Dracula is like, "If you don't leave, you're gonna put her in danger. You have to go. It's for her own protection, blah blah blah." And so Johnny leaves, right? He's like, "I'm gonna go and I'll never come back," type of thing. Also, Dracula does have the ability to do like that, like telepathy, but mind control, mind control. But Johnny wears contacts, so it doesn't work, and I just find that really funny. Um, so Dracula realizes that Mavis is in love with Johnny, and he goes and he rescues him and brings him back. He has to go into the sun, which gets him all burnt up. And also, this is very classic Dracula in terms of like all of the tropes, right? Can't see himself in a mirror, steaks are bad, garlic makes you kind of sick, um, and then can turn into a bat, which I think is so cute. Also, sun hurts. Um, so he's like a little bat. It's the cutest cartoon bats I've ever seen. He's a little bat, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Johnny, please come back." And he has to hypnotize the pilot of the airplane to talk through the intercom speakers to be able to do that. And then the plane gets rerouted, comes right back. Johnny gets off, and then they go, and uh, Johnny and Mavis get married. Here's an issue that I have. Um, Mavis is now an adult because she's turned 118. I feel like Johnny's supposed to be like 22. Don't get married at that age. And if you're thinking 118 still too young, just subtract the 100 because that's the whole point. Is that she's only 18. Don't get married at 18. That's a bananas thing to do. And if you're like, "Well, I zinged at 18," you sure about that? Because your brain's not done for another 7 years. I don't know how it works with bats, but Johnny's still pretty young. Um, you're a child at 18. And if you're sitting there and you're 17 or 18 and you're like, "Go F yourself, I'm a grown up because I drink on the weekends now and I let people have sex with me or I have sex with them or blah, blah, blah," that's not what makes you an adult. What makes you an adult is being old enough that your brain performs at a different, better output, right? Like when I was 23, was I technically an adult? Yes. Yes, I was. But I wasn't financially responsible. I wasn't stable in almost any way. I didn't know myself well enough. And if you're like, "Well, I know myself," bitch, that's what I used to say. And you know what? I do know myself. But even then, I would be like, "Well, it's okay to push this boundary of mine or that boundary of mine or whatever." And then when you turn 25 and your brain's done cooking, and then you take a little bit more time, you're just like, "Oh, wow, okay. Now I know what I won't tolerate. I will tolerate. I understand. I don't understand. I want this in my life. I don't want that in my life," right? Like the fact that we have to go to college at 18 and like get everything together at that time and decide our careers for life, basically, if you go to college, bananas to me. Bananas. Now, I will also say that what I wanted to go to school for at that time and having that job or being in that sphere is still stuff that makes me very happy. But it's not exactly right, and there's a lot of pressure there. I'm just saying, if you're 18 or if you're under 25, if you're under 26, because I feel like just because 25 is when it's done doesn't mean it's when you really, it's not like you turn 25 that day and then you get a little, whoa, all the information is here now. It's not that. So let's say 26 or under. And take your time with everything, not just relationships, even though they're exciting and they're new and they're fun, and you definitely will love someone in those years. I'm not saying like it's not real. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that because your brain's not done and your emotional things aren't done and all of that stuff, it's gonna hit you harder. Still fall in love, still do all of this stuff, but don't feel like your life is over because whatever endeavor you started at 18 or 20 or 22 or 23 or 25 ends because you grew up and you changed. Actually, don't feel that way at any point in your life. Because I'm in my 30s and I started this podcast in my 30s after a relationship where we were technically together for 5 years, but overall kind of together for 7 years. And definitely knew him before I was 25 and was with him before I was 25, ended. And then I was like, my world is over. My life is done. Nope. My life is better than it ever has been. Not in spite of him, not because of him, but because I've hit an age now where I understand myself and I love myself, and there are certain things I know I won't tolerate again, and there are certain things I know I'll absolutely love again. And I am now more comfortable to like put stuff out on the internet. I have to tell you, I'm a young millennial, right? I'm towards the end of the range because if it's 15 years and I've got okay, I'm mid-range millennial. Maybe a little bit on the lower end, but mathematically probably closer to like a mid-range one, right? Like I've always wanted to make content. Always, always. But when I was younger, I was nervous that I wasn't good enough, smart enough, pretty enough. And then I was in my relationship, and this is not necessarily on him, but definitely kind of who he was as a person that didn't make me feel like I could create stuff in front of him. Like it felt like it would be embarrassing. And if I'm being honest right now, I haven't told most people about my podcast or my writing or anything. I don't share it because I don't want people to be mean to me or make fun of me. And now that's a lot of personal things, right? Like I've dealt with people being mean to me about the things I write or the way they say things to me. And if I say anything to them, I go, oh, I forget, you're so sensitive. I forget how sensitive you are. And it's like, you know what? Then don't. Okay? I'm not sorry that I'm sensitive. I'm not sorry that you have to walk on eggshells around me because I don't let you say whatever in hell you want to me and then just go, if that's how you feel, okay, cool. Thank you so much. Especially when the thing that you're saying is mean and hurtful and out of place. And I'm in my 30s. And I'm just now starting to do these things that I wish I would have started doing a long time ago. Because maybe if I started a little while ago, for one, it wouldn't be as saturated as this market. Two, maybe I'd be better at it because I'd have more experience with editing and controlling my verbal diarrhea that happens every single episode. Maybe I'd have a following, like people, like hundreds of thousands of people, or 1 million people, or 5 million people, or whatever. Maybe I would have already gotten to the place where I've always wanted to be had I trusted myself earlier in my life. But I didn't have that capability, mostly because my brain wasn't done, but also because I was doing stuff in my life that at 29 ended and made me think my life was over. And then at almost 32, here I am, and my life is better than it ever has been because I'm being true to myself in every way. And that is not something I could do before I was 25 or even a little older for me because I didn't have the ability. So don't get married at 18, okay? Because I've also done weird stuff like that. I didn't get married at 18, but I got married pretty young and I got divorced immediately. I don't even consider myself having ever been married. Do I ever feel like I was married? No. Mm-mm. Not even kind of. Not even a little bit. Did I have a wedding once? Yeah. Did I marry someone I was in love with at the time? Nope. I married someone because I thought that that's what I was supposed to do because at that point in my life, I didn't have my own anything. I was just going off of what I was raised with. And I did what I thought I was supposed to do and what was best. And that's all you can ever do. But as you get older, what is best changes. So don't get married at 18. And if you're like, if I don't get married now, we won't stay together, then you shouldn't be together. But if you're 18 and you're like, I'd love to marry him or her, them, whoever, then go, awesome. Let's build our lives together so that when we get to that point, we're ready, right? And if your thought is, I have to marry them now, or, things could fall apart because that's how that works. Divorce exists. It exists, and it is easy peasy to do nowadays. Not emotionally, not mentally, not financially, but legally, they be passing those out at the gas station, basically. So if you have to get married because you're super young and, you feel like, oh, well, if we don't do it now, maybe I'll lose this person, then you're probably still going to lose that person, okay? Don't rush into stuff. Because if they're there, they're supposed to be there for you for your whole lifetime. Then you've got your whole lifetime to do those big things. Also, you don't want to run out of cool stuff to do when you're 18 or 19 or 20 or 21, right? You're going to be able to do, like, oh, the big wedding where we can actually afford it, where it's legal for me to drink at it if you're American, Like, I've always wanted to be married. I like weddings. I love weddings. I love events in general. And I think weddings are lovely and beautiful and romantic. And I absolutely would love to have a nice one, one that I really care about and I love. But I'd like to be married more than that. I'd like to know that someone said, I choose you above anything else, always, forever. And now we are legally family. And a big part of that is because they don't really have family. So it'd be nice, right? But I don't want to get married to someone because I'm like, if we don't get married, they'll leave me. Because that piece of paper doesn't stop that. And if you're thinking, wow, this is getting really heavy for Hotel Transylvania, welcome to the podcast. I never stay on topic. I'm doing pretty good right now by at least sticking to young marriages, right? If you're getting married because you're 18 and you get pregnant, or 16 or whatever, and you get pregnant and that's like societally what you feel like you should do, or your parents are pushing you towards it, or it's like, oh, I have to be married for financial reasons or whatever. All right, I guess. Not a great reason, but okay. The second movie, Mavis is pregnant. And then she has a little baby, and we are waiting to find out if the baby will be a vampire or not. And his name is Dennis, but Drac calls him Denisovich. And then also we're dealing with the fact that Mavis kind of wants to move away, and then she ends up not moving away. Dennis does become a baby vampire. He's very cute. And then it's still the Johnny and Dracula, like Dracula not fully accepting him, blah, blah, blah. He's a human, but bite him. Is that not part of the lore in this? It doesn't make any sense to me. Third movie, my least favorite one in the series. Dracula finds a new love. Don't mind that part at all. I just find the whole thing is really cheesy, but not in a cute way like the other movies. The third one, Drac and the family and all of the friends, so, the mummy, Frankenstein's monster, and his wife, blah, blah, blah. They all go on a cruise, a monster cruise. However, the cruise is being run by the Van Helsings, who is who Dracula falls in love with, is Lady Van Helsing. I don't know what her name is. Erica. I do know what her name is. It's a trap, basically, to get rid of monsters while out at sea. And then they fall in love and things go better, and now they're not going to do that anymore. Everything's fine. The fourth one, Adam Sandler doesn't come back as Dracula, and Kevin James doesn't come back as Frankenstein's monster, which I find weird. Adam Sandler's replacement, who I don't remember the name of, and I'm really sorry, dude, does a great job. Like, you can barely tell. If you're a child, you're not telling. I can tell. I've listened to Adam Sandler's voice my whole life. Kevin James' character, could tell immediately. I was like, that is not how he sounds. There's a timbre that's missing there, okay? You were missing a couple of notes, sir. But aside from that, which is a little bit jarring if you're someone like me and you're like, oh, this is different. This is not how this is supposed to be. Um, aside from that, it's really cute. Erica is now at Hotel Transylvania. Drac wants to retire and give Mavis the hotel. And then Mavis kind of overhears that because of the bat hearing. And she gets super excited. She tells Johnny, and then Johnny's too excited and he kind of lets it slip to Dracula. And he's like, I can't wait to do this and this and that. And because of all of the changes that could happen, Dracula's like, I don't know what you're talking about, because he's decided to change his mind because he's so overbearing and controlling that he doesn't want any changes to happen to an establishment that he's no longer running. So it's a little frustrating. And then Dracula's like, oh, actually, the law is that I couldn't possibly pass it down because you're a human, and monster law wouldn't allow that. And Johnny, being the sweetest, kindest, cutest little guy there is just like, I get it. I'm sorry. I don't want to take this away from Mavis. And he goes down to great great granddaddy Van Helsing's lab because he's a little evil scientist who we met in the last movie. And he's like, I need to become a monster or something so that I can take over the hotel with Mavis so that she can have her dream, which is running things and, you know, getting to do her own thing. And so he's doing it entirely out of love and to fit in. And he becomes a monster. And then Dracula starts to panic because obviously it's not a law. And if Mavis finds out, she's going to know that Drac lied. She's going to be upset. And Drac doesn't want that because he's, you know, he loves his daughter and he's super loving towards her. But also, he doesn't want Johnny to find out that he was lying because he doesn't want to hurt his feelings. It's like, grow up, man. Four movies here. They've got a kid together. Like, allow that he's a human. Stop it. Cut it out. But he's old, right? Dracula's old, so it makes sense. Anyway, so then Dracula continues to try to hide Johnny, who's a giant, like, dragon monster, basically. And then they end up, like, on a journey to South America or something. Ah, that's what happens. They need a little gem to turn Johnny back into a human. And it's in South America. This ruby type thing. And Dracula doesn't want Erica to know that he was lying. He doesn't want Mavis to know he was lying. He doesn't want Johnny to know. Johnny does eventually find out while they're on their little journey to South America to fix him. And he gets really upset. Because the thing is that with the little monster beam that they use, is the longer the creature is a monster, when it wasn't before, the more aggressive it gets. And then Dracula has to kind of save him, and Mavis finds out, obviously, and now they accept each other. There's a foil, but they come back together, and they're able to take care of each other, and Johnny understands, and Dracula is able to be like, okay, I passed my torch to you. So it's cute. It doesn't have Selena as much as it has, you know, Johnny and Dracula's little, like, relationship, which I think is very cute. The second one has a lot of, like, Dracula with Dennis, his grandson, who he loves so much. And then the third one, it's fine. I don't care for it, so I don't pay much attention to it. If I'm being honest, I didn't rewatch it for this go around because I was like, I remember enough. They're on a cruise. Things go wrong. Oh, that's why they have to go on this little quest in the fourth one, because the beam accidentally hits Dracula as well. So he's no longer a monster, he's now a human, and then it breaks, and him and Johnny go to get the gem, and Dracula doesn't tell him that it's to fix him as well. It's just to make Dracula a vampire again. So that's why Johnny wants to do it, because he's like, of course I want to help you. Let's do this. We're buds. You're my, you know, father-in-law. Can't wait to be your friend. And so it's also Dracula being very, like, vulnerable because now he's a human, so he can't fly, and he's not, you know, allergic to the sun, which is nice. But also he's not strong, and he's not fast, and he's not, like, immortal. He's fragile, and now he has to live how Johnny lives his whole life, and so he's really fearful. And Johnny gets to take care of him and be like, no, it's okay. We're gonna do this and do that, and it's lots of bonding. It's very cute. If you've got a father-in-law who's, like, rude to you like this, you should make him watch this series and be like, look, just grow up. because you're already human. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Make you more human? Just be nice. You know, he's nice to your daughter. Um, as a series, I absolutely love it. I think it's really cute. You know, like I love I love cute things. And I would rate it with my pumpkin scale, but honestly, I can't remember what I put it on the pumpkin scale, and I don't want to look because my computer's kind of far away this time. Um, it's cute. It's great for the whole family. I'm an adult who enjoys it. You know, it's good background noise if you don't really want to pay attention. It's good to watch if you're having a bad day. Adam Sandler, he does a good job with a lot of the stuff he does. He makes so much that, of course, there are things that aren't good, you know, but this one, it's a great concept, and it's warm, it's fuzzy, and it's fun. So that's it. That's October 30th, and I will see you tomorrow for the very last day of spooky season. And I'm excited. Tomorrow we're doing Cabin in the Woods. So I'll see you there, babes.